Hello and welcome to Nature Day's Outdoor Learning Resources. Now my challenge for you today is to make yourself some natural paints and a natural paintbrush. So what you're going to need is a stick that can be your paintbrush handle, a pestle and mortar, an elastic band, and now you need to collect some flowers. Now some beautiful summer flowers around at the moment, but make sure you get permission from the person who owns the garden before you start picking their favourite flowers. So if you go and collect some of your favourite colours, bring them back and I'll show you how you're going to make your paint. Once you've got your flowers, now you can make them into a paste. So if you put whichever colour you want into your pestle and mortar, take out the individual petals. You could try and use one colour to make one colour paint, or you could even practice mixing your colours by using different colours together. Once you've got them in your pestle and mortar, you need to grind them up. Now you might have to add a bit of water, depends how moist these petals actually are, or they may be moist enough just on their own. There, and if you see, it's got a lovely paste there now, and it's the same colour as my petals. Now, that's my paint ready. Now for my paintbrush. Now for your paintbrush, you can use anything you can find in a garden that you think will make a good bristle for the end. So you could just use something like this that will be used for a bristle just as it is, or you could collect different textures of different plants. So I've got some dill here and some fennel. I think this would make nice bristles for it. And here I've got some bracken, and again the little fronds here, that could make some interesting pictures. And I've got this one with some leaves from some grasses. You could trim them off if you want them shorter. You can make a range, so you've got a range of different textures. And what you do is you collect those leaves, wrap them around your stick, and then just tie them up with an elastic band. So to make your paintbrush, you just need a stick for your handle, and you need to collect some different materials that you can use to make bristles. Now it's good to make a range of paintbrushes, so you might find something you could use on its own, like this flower here. I think would make nice bristles for a brush, so I could just tie this with an elastic band to a stick. Or I've got some grass here that I've pulled off and I've put around my stick and then tied it on with an elastic band. I could trim this off if I want a nice flat edge. Then we can find some fluffy plants like this fennel and this dill and tie them on. Again, we could trim it if we want it shorter. Or I've also found some bracken. I think this would make some nice patterns in the paint. So again, I could cut it off if I want it nice and straight, or I can keep it loose like this. Now these paintbrushes I can now use with my paint. Now we need to wet these, so we need to put these in some water. Then we can put them into our paint, and then we can paint them onto our paper. Now once you've made lots of different colours, you could then start to build a nice paint palette and create some lovely pictures. How about trying to see which colour flower is the best one for making paint? Do white flowers make white paint, or do you get a different colour? Think about how bold and bright your flowers are. Do you actually get that bold and brighter paint when you actually turn it into paint? I also found some leaves, some red leaves in my garden, because I was interested to know whether those could be used to make paint. Because these are these pigments inside our leaves? So if they are pigments, then we might be able to take them out. But if they're not, then they may not actually create the same colour as we expect. We might get some green paint from our red leaves. It could be like a magic trick. So I'd love to see how you experiment with it. Now, there's other things in your house that you can make natural paints from as well. Onion skins make some really nice brown paints. And also if you've got red cabbage, you can make a purpley paint as well. If you've got any berries in your garden, of course they make fantastic paint. Raspberries as well, they make brilliant bright reds, and any other berries that you might have in your garden. But remember, get permission before you start taking all the raspberries and turning them into paint. Now I would love to see your creations, either your paint palettes, all the different colours that you've made, your paint brushes, and of course if you paint any pictures. Now if it's going to be a wet day, this is a good thing to do once you've collected your plants. You could do it inside, and you could do some painting through the window of your garden using your paint from outside while you're sitting snug and warm and dry inside. So enjoy being creative today. I hope to see you again another day.